Welcome to the tea table. I'm so happy you've joined me today. Here we are, end of November, almost entering winter, transitioning from autumn to winter, and I'm outside pretending today like we're on the boat. We're traveling, and I think we're in Europe because I traveled quite a bit in November, in the month of November in Europe. And it's a cozy time actually. And I have a tea tray just for you. Now the cup has a ship on it. And so we are really on a ship, but then we'll go on a train, and the little tea set is exactly what you would have found. I don't know, maybe it's still there, but this is how I was served coffee or tea a few years back. Well, we're just completing our beautiful Thanksgiving holiday, and I want to still reflect upon it. And now I always feel once Thanksgiving has happened, it's time to wear furs. So I wore this wonderful fur coat. It's vintage, it's old. It has a label in it that says Alaska Fur Company, Seattle, Washington. And I just love it. And I thought when I saw the sun come out, we'll just go outside and have tea together. Well, my tea today is called the British Breakfast Republic of Tea, and it's a blend of the Kenyan and the East Indian and the Sri Lanka. And it says here, the blend all, 3 teas, 3 countries, and we're going to try it. Now my little pot, this is the kind of little pot you would find on a train or a boat. Individual, heavy silver so that it retains the heat. And often, I'll show you this cup first, they would have a cup that had the view of the ship, you see? And it would be the name of the ship, or the hotel, or the train line. And this one is really special. And it's a ship that is in Avalon Bay. Beautiful. So I am going to pour this now. And by the way, if you haven't gotten your tea yet, please pause, get your tea, and I'll be waiting for you. This is my favorite thing on the tea table. It's a very old beaten silver creamer, which definitely they had on the boat or even in restaurants that were serving a lot of people in hotels. This was very common. I know Frederick and Nelson had this, and the Olympic Hotel in Seattle. Oh my, that's beautiful tea. I need that tea out here today, but with my fur coat, I'm not really cold. I really should remove my gloves, but I put them on for you. I thought they were fun. They're little woolly gloves, but they go fine with my outfit. So I'm gonna just leave them on if you don't mind for a little bit. And I'm all in brown. This is a brown hat, and I'm kind of against brown trees, so you can't quite see it. And then the brown fur, of course. Oh my goodness, it feels so cozy. I love this coat. And then I have a brown and gold purse that just sort of looks like the end of November to me. We're looking forward to coming into Advent and Christmas, but not there yet. We want to thoroughly enjoy what we have now, right? We don't want to rush it. I put this one little flower on the tea table, and actually I'll show you what it is. It's a napkin ring. And I don't have a napkin in it today, but I thought often they would bring you a little flower on your tray. And for the little treat, I have Swedish ginger snap heart cookies. Let me show you. And they're very thin, very popular all year long. They're called pepperkaka, and I tried to make these once. I mean, this was years ago, and I followed the recipe, and it said refrigerate, so I refrigerated, and I mean, it was a bowl this big. I had so much dough. It probably would have made 500 cookies because you roll it out very thin and then cut them. And this wonderful Norwegian lady had given me the recipe. And dear friend, Bergliot, she always baked wonderful cookies. Well, I tried to roll it out, and I couldn't even get the dough to move. Now, knowing what I know now, I would have warmed up the dough maybe, added a little more liquid, and then floured but I didn't know what to do with. I don't know what I did with that dough, but it was in my refrigerator for so long, and finally I just gave up. But these are from Sweden, and they make them by the thousand. And it's a nice little snack when you don't want too much. And I just put a little leaf bouquet, really nice and red with gold. When Christmas comes, I always have these vases, then I put Christmas flowers in. But for now, for today, we're just going to still leave it and enjoy our wonderful November. I love November. It's a special month to me for many reasons. After I really grew up, because my husband's birthday is in November, his mother's birthday was in November. He was born actually on Thanksgiving Day, and so he's always celebrated his birthday and loved Thanksgiving for that. There's nothing else competing for presents, so he would get a lot of presents. Everybody's getting ready in the mood for Christmas, and he would get a lot of presents, have a lot, very nice time. Well, my husband and I, we knew each other for 10 years before we married. We met at college, sang in a singing group together, traveled around Washington, Oregon, the Key Folk Singers, and we're good friends. And then I graduated with an AA and went up to Alaska and worked with a children's home there. I worked for and stayed there for a year, did more education, University of Alaska. And he was also continuing his education, and we were really good friends. And then he went to Germany in the military for 2 years, and then I went traveling around Europe, and we were in Europe together twice on different events, but we just traveled, and we both needed to do a lot of things before we were going to consider marriage. And anyway, then I got back from Europe. I was graduating with my bachelor's. He was back from Europe graduating with his bachelor's, and we became engaged. And it was Thanksgiving Day that we announced it at my sister-in-law's house, and all our families were there, and it was so special. And so this is our kind of special romantic time of year, November. And halfway through that relationship, when we were just friends, and he would send me things, and we never were really boyfriend and girlfriend. We're just friends, but he made me a dulcimer in Germany and sent it to me. And I was staying with some friends in Toronto, working in a musical ministry there. Here comes this beautiful handmade dulcimer. And the lady of the house, Merla, many of you know Merla, she goes, well, who in the world sent that to you? They called me Shoshana. I said, well, it's my friend Michael. And your friend, my eye, that's your Isaac. So that happened. Then, about a year later, it was November, and it was cold and blustery. And I went out to my mailbox, and there came a package from Germany, and it was a beautiful forest green German ethnic shawl, which I will wear sometime on the tea table. And I thought, well, that's really special. So I wrote him a song, a poem. And it was a song, actually, but I wrote it in poem form. And I sent him a card, and the song, I can't sing it to you today, but it went something like this. November winds are blowing, and the frost is on the ground. The waves are crashing, splashing, and I hear the thunder sound. And I'm thinking of you, Michael, far across the ocean tide. May Jesus be close by your side. You called me Suzanne, and we watched the boats go by. You talked of living in his vine to abide. Michael, I remember when I used to hear you pray. May his love surround you every day. Michael, it's your birthday now. I've known you 7 years, from Munich to Alaska, to our Keyfolk journeys here. Michael, you're a light to me. My song will always be, Jesus, keep Michael walking free. So that was it. But we still weren't engaged or boyfriend and girlfriend. We were very reserved, but friendly. But he told me later that he knew I was going to be his wife 5 years before, but he didn't feel it was the right time to tell me. Wasn't that interesting? So, November is romantic, and I know all of my tea people are romantics. I know you are, because we have kindred hearts. We love books. We love fires. We love the classics. We love good music. And we share in our love for the art and ethnicity and the uniqueness of every land and country. I love my memories of Europe in November. I clearly remember riding on the train. My friend and I, Eileen, had left Switzerland, Le Brie, and rode through the mountains to Berchtesgaden, which I had never heard of, but she had been there. And at that time, Berchtesgaden, it was Hitler's old retreat center in the Alps that is right by the Eagle's Nest. And we went on a retreat there for a week. At that time, the U.S. military had taken Berchtesgaden and turned it into the General Walker Hotel. And it had Christian retreats. It was a Christian retreat center for different churches and groups to use. Can you imagine? God had the last word. Well, the first night we pulled in on a very dark night, and I didn't see anything. I didn't see the mountains. We just came in on the train. And we were invited by a friend that we could stay on the military base. So we stayed in this room, and it was nice. And then the next morning, we opened the curtains, and it was a sunny, blue sky day, and the mountains were straight up in the sky. Oh, snow-clad. Oh, it was so beautiful. I'll never forget that. Then when I walked out the door, someone said to me, "You know, you have been sleeping in Göring's house." The Göring from Hitler era had built this beautiful mansion home in the Berchtesgaden area. It was the most beautiful area. The ski slopes, oh my goodness, the views are over the top. Well, that was my introduction to Berchtesgaden. And then we go up to the General Walker and we stay there for a week. And it was so wonderful because we had been living in Europe since early summer, Scotland and Munich, and then we lived in Switzerland. Well, we were on a mission in the summer to the Munich Games, and Eileen and I were dear friends, went to Le Brie, stayed there. Well, we traveled then, and she was showing me. I had never been to Austria or Salzburg or Vienna, and we went there then, because you just go a little further, you hit Salzburg, and you know, Berchtesgaden is called Obersalzberg. It means over, the mountain over the city of Salzburg. We went to Mozart's house and we stayed in a Gasthaus. Now that's like a bed and breakfast. Different than a youth hostel. It's one step up. It's like a bed and breakfast. And we were staying, and in the morning, to our surprise, in walks the lady of the house with a tray, and it had 2 white porcelain pitcher pots, like coffee pots, one full of black coffee, wonderful coffee, the other full of frothing milk, so we could make our own latte. And then they served Kaiser rolls that, like I've never tasted here, unsalted butter and their German jam, very generous portions. It was breakfast provided after we had gotten out of bed with down comforters this thick, pillows, puffs. Oh my goodness, we loved that area. We loved that time. It was so special. And it was snow on the ground because it was November. It was late November, and I loved that. And then we went up to Bern, Switzerland, where we had a mutual friend, and we stayed with her. And when we went to the train station, we saw all the musicians coming, carrying their violins or cellos. So many concerts in like a city like Bern. We went to the opera and heard Tosca, and there were so many concerts you could choose from, and everyone's going to the concerts. Live concerts, fabulous. Very affordable concerts too. It was wonderful. Well, I wanted to show you, I'm going to have one more sip of tea here. I guess I won't take my gloves off if it's all right. They feel just perfect. I feel perfect out here, which is amazing. But I did want to show you that this scarf I have on, it has the brown and gold too. So I'm kind of in brown and gold. And then this is a necklace that is an orange. I love this necklace in October, and I had misplaced it. I usually wear it every October, and I found it. I thought I've got to wear that on the Tea Talk. So I still have some orange and black bracelet here. That's kind of orange and black with a little gold. Got a lot on here. And then I put this one with this, and I love gold and brown. It brightens the brown up. And this coat, I tell you, it is so wonderful. This coat, it just fits me perfect. You know, fur is God's idea, and he made it for the animals. Now I know why they can be outside. I'm outside and I'm fine, and it's November. Isn't that something? Well, this is going to be a shorter tea talk today, but I wanted to just tell you how much I appreciate all of you. And as we prepare now for Advent and Christmas, St. Nicholas Day and Yule Fest, let us just embrace and celebrate and enjoy. And I'm seriously thinking, I've had several people ask me, why don't we have a book club on the Tea Talk? So I'm thinking maybe in January, we'll choose a book and we'll have a book club. Wouldn't that be fun? January is a good time. We're going to be so busy now. I don't want to add to anyone's pressure. So you can be thinking about it. I am taking suggestions and I have a few ideas, but I'm open and I think it should be something that everyone likes. And I think January would be a wonderful month. This cup is so fun. It's just so beautiful. If you ever see in a thrift shop a cup with an insignia, like a ship and a name on it, grab it. They're special. I think they're very special. I have a friend who went down to the Olympic Hotel when it was closing in Seattle, and they were selling all their Olympic Hotel beautiful silver. It was on this level, this very thick kind of a beaten silver. And she bought me a pot that was like this that I used for years for plants. Beautiful. And it had a ship on it, and it said, OH, Olympic Hotel, Seattle. And I used it and I loved it, and I don't know what happened to it. I think maybe when we moved at one point that it got left. It's so hard to keep track of everything. But anyway, I love things like that, and I love there's a lot of old silver in China floating around Victoria, BC, from the Empress when it's been going 100 years, so it changed its design several times. And this is Mozart playing it again, and we haven't gotten to him, but I'm going to talk about him next time. He was so young when he passed, and yet his music, he produced so much music, and I think it's because he started so young. Yes. Well, have a beautiful, beautiful beginning of Christmas and beginning of Advent, and go to church. The 4 Sundays of Advent are so beautiful. We always go to the Yule Fest in Seattle. If you live locally, that's at the Swedish Covenant Church on Bellevue and Pike. And their service is at 4 o'clock, the first Sunday in December. And it's beautiful. They have the Lucia Bride and the candles, and then they have the coffee and the Julekaka bread and the peppernews and the cookies, and it's always so fun. And we see all our friends and family there. Different ones come every year. We've been doing this for since way back. And then they sing all the Swedish Christmas hymns in Swedish. It's really beautiful. Really beautiful. And wear the costumes. It's a place, if you have an ethnic costume, you can wear it. So I just extend an invitation. It's free and it's very, very nice. It's very meaningful. It's a wonderful way to start Christmas. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe and push the notification bell, and then you will be given a notification. And if you liked it, the like button is great. But what I really appreciate are your comments. They are so nice. Thank you so much, every one of you who has taken time, because that is very, very special. Okay, well, God bless, and I will look forward to seeing you next time.